sure that nothing is causing pain, discomfort, as in joint pain, muscular discomfort, entirely up to you. If you need to stop, have a little stretch, have a little rest to stop and stretch. If you can keep it going for as long as you can. As usual, if you're seated, see if you can sit a little bit straight, as trying to avoid that slouched position as much as possible. That is going to compress the diaphragm, preventing it from descending and ascending and creating that nice relaxed breath. So forcing you to breathe apically into the neck, into the shoulders, into the top of the chest. So see if I can give myself a little bit more space, and then encouraging the breath to drop into the belly. If you're lying down, taking advantage of the mat, the floor underneath, see if you can let yourself relax on it completely, allowing the arms, allowing the legs to relax. And then see if you can direct the breath down into the belly. So noticing if you're breathing through the top of the chest or the abdomen. I want the chest to keep still, to keep soft, to keep relaxed. I just want the belly to raise with the inhale and then to flop, to relax with the exhale. I'm not pushing it consciously out and then pulling it in. I'm trying to make the breath do that movement or create that movement. And then at the same time, I'm just going to practice that quick scan over the body. So noticing the pressure at the back of the body. If I'm seated, noticing the pressure under the seat bone, under the hips. Am I straight? Am I slightly leaning? Am I twisting? Is there any niggle anywhere around the body? I'm not changing anything. I'm just trying to notice how I'm feeling at the moment and where everything is, how everything is within the body. As I feel the breath is a little bit calmer, the body's a little bit more relaxed, I'm just going to focus on the neck. I'm going to start turning the head to look around one side, easing my way back to the center, and then I'm going to turn to look the other way. So as usual, the first few movements are always the kind of like the stiffer ones, and then eventually I might be able to open them up a little bit more and then just go that little bit deeper around, a little bit further around. Not forcing anything. I'm just trying to relax as much as I can into it. I can feel that the right side maybe is a little bit stiffer than the left, or the left is a little bit stiffer than the right. If I'm laying down, the shoulders are relaxed onto the floor. If I'm seated, notice if maybe as I turn to look around the right shoulder, I can see that the right shoulder is moving too. On the next one, can I keep the shoulder still and just move the head? Same as I go to the left, can I just move the head, turn the head without drawing back the shoulder? 2. 1. And then I'm just going to ease back to the middle. Returning the head back to the center. I'm going to keep the head nice and still, and then I'm going to play with the eyes. I'm going to stick the right arm to the front, and then I'm going to stick the thumb out. I'm just going to focus on my thumb or my nail, my thumb, whatever it's easier. I'm going to drop the shoulder away from the head, and then without moving the head, I'm just going to start opening the right arm out to the right, and then with the eyes, I'm just going to follow the thumb to the side. Then I'm just going to ease back to the center, and then I'm going to follow it again. And then easing back. So noticing if you're fatiguing, noticing if you're maybe wanting to turn the head too. See if I can try and hold it front and just follow with the eyes. 4, 5, 6, 7. So head nice and still. 8, and then I'm just going to return back to the middle. Relaxing the arm, returning back to the center. I'm going to reach my left arm forward, sticking the thumb out again. And then this time focusing on that finger, focusing on that thumb. I'm going to keep the head still, and then I'm just going to follow the thumb with my eyes as it moves to the left. Coming back, and then again. It's a little movement, not a massive one, so I'm not trying to move my arm behind me. And again, noticing as I move the arm, I can see that my head is moving too. Can I try and force my head to stay in the middle and just use my eyesight to follow the thumb as it's moving? 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing back, giving the shoulder a little bit of a roast, relaxing the shoulders. I'm going to retest my neck movement. So I'm just going to turn the head to look over one shoulder, come back, and then turn to look the other way. Hopefully, you can feel a difference. You can feel that maybe it's a little bit easier. I can go further. It was catching before. It doesn't seem to be too bad now. Last time. And then returning back to the center. Adjusting the head to the middle. And then this time I'm going to focus on the upper back. It's going for a little rotation at the top of the spine. If I'm seated, I can bring the arms to the front. I can cross them onto the chest, whatever is easier. If I'm lying down, I'm going to stick the arms out to the front so that I can kind of like swing them around to encourage that rolling. And then I'm just going to turn the head to look over the right shoulder. And then I'm just going to swing the arms to the right. So rotating one way, turning, rotating the other. So if you're seated, see if you can take advantage of the space. So turning the head, see how far around you can look as you turn and turn the rib cage. As you turn the head and you turn the rib cage. If you're lying down, obviously a little bit more limited for space, but I can still try to notice the hips are keeping still, so the bum is not lifting off the mat. It's just the shoulders that are rocking from side to side, from side to side. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And releasing back, releasing the shoulders, adjusting the rib cage, making sure that you're back into the center. And then I'm just going to return back into the neck. And this time, instead of rotation, I'm going to go into a little lateral flexion. So if I'm lying down, I might want to support the head with one hand as I try to bring the head from one to the other, from one to the other side, or just dragging it along the floor from side to side. If I'm seated, just allowing gravity to do the pulling. So think of your right ear coming down to the right shoulder and then left to the left. The shoulders are not moving. The back is nice and still. It's just the head going side to side. Comparing the two sides, I can feel a lot more pull, a lot more tension on the left side of my neck than on my right, or vice versa. I can maybe feel a little bit of a pinching. Again, I'm not forcing. I don't want any pain. Refer down the arms or tingling into the fingers, into the hands. And then as I feel the movement starts getting a little bit easier, See if you can think of the right ear dropping to the right shoulder, and at the same time, see if you can think of your left shoulder trying to pull away. So creating just a little bit more traction down the side of the neck. Then I'm going to ease back. I'm going to bring the left ear to the left shoulder. And then with the right shoulder, I'm just going to traction away. So a little bit more stretch down the neck. 4. 3. 2. Last one. And releasing back. Giving the shoulders a little bit of a roll, releasing through the shoulders, releasing through the neck. So there's a little bit more movement into the neck. I'm going to take it again down into the upper back. So exactly the same from lateral flexion from the cervical. I'm going to go into a lateral flexion into the thoracic. So if I'm seated, I can let the arms drop down the side. I can cross the arms to the chest. If I'm laying down, I'm going to reach down with my right, support the head with my left hand, and then I'm going to flex to the side, going as far to the side as I feel comfortable, coming back to the center, and then I'm going to flex the other way. If you're seated, imagine to be seated with the head, with the back against the wall. Imagine your back staying on the wall and moving side to side. So I'm not coming forward towards the legs. I'm not arching backwards. I'm just trying to move sideways. So I can feel one side of the body shortening, one side lengthening and opening up. One side shortening, one side lengthening and opening up. So from side to side. Laying down, working a little bit more with the belly as I move to the right, and then as I pull down to the left. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing back to the middle. Again, adjusting the rib cage, giving the shoulders, the back a little bit of a wriggle, relaxing into the back, relaxing into the shoulders. And then I'm going to move back into the cervical. I'm going to move back into the neck one more time. These I'm working forward flexion and extension. So if I'm lying down, I've got the floor to guide me. If I'm seated up, I'll have to imagine the wall behind me. I'm going to tuck the chin towards into the throat as if I was giving myself a double chin. So if I'm lying down, imagine it possible to flatten your neck against the mat. Then I'm going to go in reverse. I'm going to lift the chin away. I'm going to lengthen the front of the throat and then look up, look behind. And then I'm going to tuck in again. Then I'm going to lift. And then I'm going to tuck in again. If you're seated, think of the same movement. So I'm going to tuck the chin, stretch and lift into the back of the neck. And then I'm going to try and lift and look up. And then coming back. Supporting the weight of the head, making sure that I'm not letting the head just drop behind me. So I'm not compressing, I'm not creating pain, discomfort at the back. 5. 4. 3. 2. Last one. and releasing back. Giving the head a gentle roll again, relaxing the neck, relaxing the shoulders, and then I'm going to move into the thoracic. Exactly the same, I'm going to go into flexion extension. So think of the movement that you felt in the neck, going in extension, in flexion, and then into extension. See if I can do the same, but this time focusing on my upper back. So I'm going to extend the first, and then I'm going to flex. I'm going to extend and flex. Extend and flex. So see if I can try and ease off for some of the stiffness from the top of the spine. So it's the upper back that is moving. If you're lying down, if you're happy enough, you can support to the head. And then when you go into flexion, you lift the head off the mat. So I'm going to a little curl into a little crunch. As I release, I'm going to push the chest to the ceiling. And then I'm going to curl my way up again. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. Last one. And releasing back, releasing the shoulders, relaxing the back. Just a little bit more movement through the thoracic and the cervical. I'm going to focus on the shoulders. So finding a comfortable position for the hips or for the legs, I'm going to focus on the right shoulder first. I'm going to start taking the right arm up. And then I'm going to reach it as far up, as far back as I can. So if I'm lying down, I'm going to try and reach the arm behind as far as I can, and then return it back by the side. I'm going to repeat on the same arm. If you're seated, as you're working against the gravity, so the arm, the perception of the arm is that the arm is heavier, I'm just going to try and see if I can reach. Imagine you have lots of shelves in front of you, just a small shelves. Each time that I lift, I'm going to try and see if I can get as high on the shelf as possible and then ease back down. And see if I can maybe go on to that one above and then come down again without forcing. Just progressively see if I can try and reach higher on my shelf. And then I will get to the point where I feel that I can't go any further, any higher. So I'm just going to try and go back to that same shelf every time that the arm goes up. 5. 4. 3. 2. Last one. And releasing down, relaxing the shoulder, relaxing the arm. I'm going to try the same thing, but working on the left side. So same smooth movement. I might start to small, come back, and then gradually see if I can go a little bit bigger, come back, and a little bit more, and then back again. So noticing the difference between this side and the other. I might find that this arm feels heavier, I can't reach as high, or this feels easier, it feels better, it feels smoother. Same as I did on the right. I'm not going to force, I don't want to feel pain. I just want to create a little bit more movement into the shoulder joint. 5. 4. 3. 2, last one, and releasing down, giving the shoulders a little bit of a roll. So there's a little bit more movement into the shoulder joint. I'm going to try the same, but this time instead of going up, I'm going to go out. So I'm going to go back onto the right arm, and then this time instead of reaching up and behind, I'm going to try and reach it to the side. So I'm going to bring it to the front, and then I'm going to try and pull it to the side as far as I can. Then I'm going to swing it back to the middle and then put it down. And I'm going to raise the left arm. I'm going to reach it out to the left. As if somebody grabbed hold of my arm, was pulling it out of the shoulder socket, bringing it back to the center, and then releasing down. If you're seated, again, see if you can think of the arm reaching out of the shoulder socket. So see if I can try and encourage a nice stretch across the front of the chest. If you're lying down, no matter how close I can get the arm to the floor, but pulling it out, I'm not going to let the arm touch the floor. If it touches the floor, it tends to relax. I want the arm to pull actively, to reach out, to lengthen out as much as I can. Then I'm going to come back, return the arm, and then I'm going to try the same thing, pulling out to the other way. And then same as you did for the front raises, as you're going into this lateral opening, notice the difference in tension between the right and the left side of the chest, or between the arm itself. I find with my right, I can open and pull really wide. My left, it feels a bit stiffer, it feels a bit tighter. I tend to turn with the arm slightly. See if I can hold myself in the middle, in the center. So reaching out with one, pulling back to center, and then reaching out with the other, and then pulling back to center again. And then this time, as I feel the movement, it feels that little bit easier, that little bit looser. See if you can think of reaching out with both arms at the same time. So imagine two people grabbing hold of your arms and trying to pull them in opposite direction. And then I'm just going to ease them back. And I'm going to reach them out into opposite direction and then ease them back. 4, longer and longer, wider and wider, spreading the fingers, stretching all the way into the fingertips, into the palm of the hands. 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, 10, and releasing back, giving the shoulders a little bit of a roll, relaxing the arms. I'm going to try one different direction. This time I'm going to bring the arm across. So I'm going to still alternate side to side. I'm going to stick my right arm out to the front. With the left arm, I'm going to grab hold of the right arm, and then I'm going to try and pull it towards the chest. I'm going to try and hug it as close to the chest as I can, so I can feel a little stretch going behind the shoulder this time. Then I'm going to release. I'm going to switch the arms. I'm going to hug the right arm close to the chest, release, and then I'm going to hug the left again and release, and then the right. So just a little hug from side to side. See if you can bring the top of the arm closer to the top of the chest. So making sure that I'm not just wrapping it around my neck. I'm trying to bring it across the front of the chest, so I can really feel the stretch behind the shoulder. Making sure that I'm not holding on to the elbow, as that will tend to lock the elbow. So it's either above or below the elbow joint. 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, and release. Giving the shoulders a little bit of a roll. hopefully a little bit warmer through the shoulder girdle and the shoulder joint. I'm going to move down into the hips and into the lower back. First thing, I want to try and loosen up into the lower back. So I'm just going to start off with a little pelvic tilt. So same as you did so far. This time, instead of moving the neck, instead of moving the upper back, think of moving the lower back. I'm going to tilt the pelvis back. I'm going to draw the belly button into the back of the spine. I'm going to tuck the tailbone under. I'm going to try and round the lower back. And then I'm just going to release and reverse. I'm going to tuck. And then I'm going to release back. So think of a gentle rocking of the pelvis. If I'm seated, I can feel myself rocking forward and back over the seat bones. If I'm lying down, I can feel a gentle rocking forward and back along the back of the pelvis. I can feel the lower back flattening against the mat, and then I can feel it lifting away again. I can feel it flattening. I can feel it lifting away. So see if I can be aware of the core, see if I can be aware of the center. Think of the core center tightening as I tilt, and then I'm just going to relax it as I come back. Tightening as I tilt, and then relaxing as I come back. 5, 4, 3, relaxing the shoulders, the neck, the jaw, the face. 2, 1, and release it back. Then from flexion extension, I'm going to go into a little lateral flexion. So I'm going to go into a little hip hitch. So if I'm seated, imagine to be lifting the right seat bone off the chair, hitching that right hip up, then the left, and then the right again. So feeling again the side of the waist, the shortening. But this time, instead of it being the shoulder dropping to the hip, is the hip that is lifting to the shoulder and then coming down again. If I'm lying down, the pelvis keeps flat against the floor. It's just gently rocking from side to side. From side to side. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing back. Using the hips back to the middle, centering the hips, centering the pelvis back to the center, and then focusing on the hip joint. First thing, I want to try and activate around the hip. So I'm going to start off with a little pushing. So pushing the feet down into the floor, into the ground. If I'm lying down, I'm going to squeeze with my bum cheeks and then see if I can start bridging my way up, dragging the hips up to the ceiling and then coming down again. If I'm seated, imagine to be wanting to lift off the chair. So I'm going to lean forward into the legs and then driving with the back of the bum, see if I can make the action of wanting to pull away, wanting to stand off the chair. So feeling a little squeeze, and then I'm just going to ease back. Feeling a little squeeze, and then ease back. 6, 5. See if I can squeeze actively with both sides at the same time. 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing back, giving the legs a little shake, relaxing the legs, releasing the hips if you're laying down, maybe hugging the knees to the chest, rocking the legs forward and back a few times, stretching the lower back and the back of the hips. Then as you feel that the legs have recovered, then I'm going to change the effort. From pushing, I'm going to go into pulling out. So I'm going to grab hold of the strap or the band, and then I'm going to wrap it around the legs. If you've got the stretchy band, it's elastic, so it doesn't matter. If you've got a belt, so something rigid that doesn't have any give, keep it a little bit slack, keep it a little bit looser, so that as I push out, I can still feel that legs having to kind of like move into the band and then relax, and move into the band and then relax. I'm going to wrap the band around the legs, and then I'm just going to cross it over, and then I'm just going to hold it with the hands. So the hands are creating a little pull, so it's a little tension. I'm going to take a deep breath in. As I breathe out, I want the legs to push out against the band. Then I'm going to relax, and then I'm going to push out again. Relax, and push out again. And then same as usual, notice the tension between the right and the left side. I can feel that one leg is working, the other one is not working that great. Can I focus on the one that is not working great? Can I encourage a little bit more movement, a little bit more tension? And then I might find that I can't really feel that leg very much. So maybe I need a little bit of an encouragement. If that's the case, I'm just going to tie a quick knot or a little half a bar into the band, and then I'm going to try and use my hand to help me guide that leg in the direction I'm struggling. So pushing out into the band, focusing on the side of the hip tensing, and then relaxing back to the middle. Pushing out into the band, feeling the side of the hip, side of the bum tensing, and then easing back to the middle again. 5. 4. 3. 2. Last one, and releasing. Relaxing the legs, giving the hip a little tap, relaxing into the hip, releasing into the leg. I'm going to push the band to the side, push the strap to the side, and then this time, instead of pushing out, I'm going to keep working around the hip. I'm going to try and pull up. So if I'm seated, I can use my hand straight onto the leg to push down. If I'm lying down, because the leg is a little bit further away from me, if I put my hand on the leg, my shoulder will have to kind of like strain to reach. So I'm just going to use something to bridge that gap, make it more comfortable. I'm going to put either the pillow or the ball between the thigh and the hand. I can do it if I'm seated as well, if I want to. Then from here, think of locking the arm. So the arm is holding. With the leg, I'm going to try and lift into the hand, into the ball. Then I'm going to release, and then I'm going to try and lift again. So see if you can notice the tension into the front of the belly, helping it to stabilize, and into the front of the hip, encouraging the leg to come up. And see if I can find that connection on that right side. So pushing, squeezing, and releasing. Squeezing and releasing. 5. As if I wanted to lift the foot off the floor, but the arm is pushing the leg down, so I have to fight against the pressure of the arm. 6. 7. 8, 9, 10, and relax. Relaxing the hip, releasing the leg. I'm going to try the same with the left. So I'm going to switch the ball on the left leg, or using the left arm on top of the thigh, and then same as I did on the right. I'm going to try and push with the arm and then trying to lift with the leg. So again, feeling the belly and the hip are trying to work together to drive against the pressure of the arm. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and release. Relaxing the hip, releasing the leg on that side, and then keep working around the hip. We're going on to focus onto the inner thigh. So I'm going to put the ball or the pillow between the knees, so the knees are not pressing against each other, so it doesn't feel painful. And then shuffling the feet a little bit closer together. Instead of lifting, I'm going to squeeze. So right legs, I'm going to squeeze into the ball as if I was trying to pop it. And then I'm going to release that tension. Then again, I'm going to squeeze as if I was trying to pop it and release the tension. And then exactly the same as you did for the opening, so for the pull out. As I squeeze the ball between the knees, between the inner thighs, see if you can notice difference between the right and the left side. If there is difference, focus on the side that is not responding very well. So same as usual, maybe adding the hand to help me guide the leg in the direction I want it to go. See if I can understand the movement better. See if I can focus on that gentle tension going on the inside of the legs, that the inner thigh tensing to create that pressure, to create that tension. Six, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last one, and release. Using the pressure of the pillow of the ball, relaxing the inner thigh, relaxing the hip. So there's a little bit more connection to the inside of the leg as well. I want you to focus on your right leg. If you're lying down, the leg needs to be lifted from the floor so you can see the leg as well. So I might need the band to help me support that leg into that lift. If I'm seated, it doesn't matter because I can clearly see that leg in front of me. What I want you to think about is to try and move the leg into the hip socket in as many directions as possible, with as much range as you feel comfortable. So I don't want circles, I don't want up and down, I don't want side to side, I want everything. So imagine to be writing the alphabet, imagine to be spelling your name. So I'm just going to see if I can start to spelling my name using my right leg. So I'm just going to try and draw a little M to begin with, and then easy, an I, then I'm just going to go for a C, and then an A, and then an E, and then an L, and then an A, and then I might spell a different name. So see if I can, trying to use as many direction, as many movement as possible. So think of a S, think of a P, think of a Z, think of a U, think of a V, something smoother, something sharper. Can I try and imagine the leg moving into the, can I feel the leg moving into the hip socket? So it might not be a massive movement, but can I try and encourage as many direction, as much movement as possible into the hip? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Relaxing the leg. I'm going to try and repeat the same thing with the other side. So using the strap behind the leg if I need. If I'm seated, I can even reach with my hand if the leg is close enough. And then I'm just going to try and do that little, again, spelling, or just random movements. So what about a little zigzag to the side? What a little bit zigzagging up and down? What about a figure of 8? What about a figure of 8 upside down? Just a change in the shape, a change in the movement as much as possible. And then same as on the other side, noticing if there is a particular direction that feels stiff or that feels a bit limited. See if I can encourage movement in that direction as much as I can. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, and releasing back. Relaxing the hip, releasing the leg, giving the leg a little shake, relaxing the arms too. So when you're ready, if you're lying down, rolling over onto your side, and in your own time, pushing yourself up into sitting. Finding your comfortable seated position, leaning against the wall, leaning against the sofa, just as something that doesn't move if I need a little support behind me, using the arms as well. And then same as we did at the beginning, see if you can create space at the front of the belly. So instead of compressing the belly and squashing the diaphragm down, so forcing myself to breathe up here, that tends to kind of like stress me out, just tends to wind me up. See if instead I can create a little bit more space in the middle, allowing the chest to relax. So see if I can take that breath down into the belly. I'm going to inhale, I'm going to try and lift up a little bit higher. I'm going to try and look up, look back as far as I can. And then I'm just going to release and then come forward. Chin drops to the chest, the shoulders come forward, round in the back. And then I'm going to uncurl back up. Lengthening, lifting as much as I can. Looking forward, looking up, looking back. And then release and coming forward. Last time. Extending up as high as I can. And then releasing back to the front. One hand to the belly, one hand to the back. Take your bow. Give yourself a clap. Any question or anything as you